Welcome, astral visionary ones. The most dangerous person living is the one who no longer needs permission to exist. The chosen ones. You're not just wandering through life. You are ripping down the barriers. People are designed to confine you. This is a fact. According to research, when individuals are unable to comprehend or control others, they are more prone to fear or envy them. Congratulations. You're living rent-free in the brains of your detractors, and they're rushing like rats to locate the exit. You aren't dangerous because you fight back. You're dangerous because you don't need to. Your quiet stung worse than their words. Your presence sends an unsaid message, and your illumination reminds them of the darkness they're trapped in. But let's be honest, seeing them flee is almost too much pleasure, isn't it? And number one, your energy levels are variable. Your energy is unpredictable, and this is what makes you untouchable. People are afraid of you because they have no idea what to anticipate. One minute you're calm and focused, silently working toward your objectives. The next, you're a hurricane, ripping past barriers like they never existed. It is not pandemonium, calculated unpredictability. You move with such purpose that you defy whatever expectations others may have of you. This is why you're so dangerous. They cannot pin you down, and this upsets them. They aren't sure whether to fear you, appreciate you, or attempt to stop you. People can't organize their assaults when they don't know what your next move will be. You are constantly 10 steps ahead since you do not stick to a script. They're preparing for a battle, but you're already creating something larger. You keep them on edge by shifting your energies as needed. You adapt. You develop. You show up when it counts most in unexpected ways. That's why your detractors go. They're not simply fleeing from you. They're escaping from their incapacity to manage or comprehend you. It is not only about being unexpected. Others see it as unexpected. Even yourself. You push boundaries, go to places you've never been before, and do things others believed were impossible. While they remain inside their comfort zones, you're out there, lighting the world on fire. You're the wild card in a world filled with rules, which makes you invincible. They have never seen somebody like you since they are not meant to exist. And yet, here you are, alive, breathing contradiction that keeps everyone wondering whether they adore or fear you. In any case, people are unable to look away. Number two, you resist classifications. You defy categorization. And there is where your power rests. People urgently want to classify you, to fit you into a box that makes sense to them. But you refuse to make it that simple. You are too dynamic, multifaceted, and complicated to fit into their one-dimensional notions. It is upsetting for them because, in a society where labels provide comfort and clarity, you are an enigma that refuses to be resolved. They try calling you too much, too little, too loud, or too quiet, but nothing sticks. One day you violate the rules, the next you completely rewrite them. You are the kind of person that defies expectations and does what feels right rather than what is convenient. People are used to such independence, which makes them anxious. To them, you're a reflection of everything they wish they had the confidence to be. Your failure to comply undermines the entire basis of their worldview. They want you to remain in one lane because it is simpler for them to deal with. But you aren't here to make anybody feel comfortable. You're here to develop, evolve, and go beyond what you believed was possible. Their bewilderment is not your problem. It demonstrates that you're playing a wider game. What makes you dangerous is that they cannot foresee you. You are not one thing. You are everything. You are not constant in the manner they anticipate, since consistency is determined by your progress rather than their expectations. And this worries them. People are afraid of what they don't understand. Therefore, they will either label you or run away from you. Either way, it doesn't matter because you're too busy living completely and truly to be concerned about the box they're attempting to force you into. Your greatest power is that you cannot be contained. Number 3, your comebacks will be savage. Your comebacks are merciless, and that's what distinguishes you. When life or your detractors knock you down, you don't simply get back up. You rise like a force of nature, stronger and more resolute than ever. It is not about vengeance or proving someone wrong. It is about proving oneself correct. You do not react to setbacks with sympathy or excuses. You react with action, progress, and a degree of resilience that leaves others dumbfounded. What makes you dangerous is that you refuse to remain down. You convert every setback, insult, and failure into fuel when others wallow in despair. You're already planning your next move. You don't spend time justifying yourself or fighting with people who question you. Instead, you allow your achievement to be the loudest, most irrefutable reaction. That level of stillness is deafening. It lingers in the thoughts of your enemies long after you've gone on. Your comebacks are planned, not passionate. You do not act out of wrath or despair. You behave precisely. Every step you make is purposeful, and every triumph serves as a reminder to those who questioned you that they misjudged the wrong person. That's what bothers them the most. Not simply that you returned, but how you did so. You don't just bounce back. You undergo a transformation. They can't accept the reality that nothing can break you. Not their views, not their efforts to undermine you, not even your own failures. Every time you climb, you send a warning to everyone dumb enough to get in your path. Your comebacks are not only about survival, they're about dominance. You do not only recuperate, you flourish. And this makes you unstoppable. Number 4, your genuineness is intimidating. You frighten with honesty because you present yourself unapologetically. There are no masks, filters, or artificial grins. Just the naked, unadulterated truth. That kind of honesty is uncommon, and for many, it is scary. In a world where individuals hide behind well-manicured facades, you stand out like a bright light in the darkness. It isn't because you want to be different. It's because you've concluded that being authentic is unavoidable. Your genuineness does more than only make you stand out. It rattles people to the core. It makes people face their own masks, falsehoods, and anxieties. When you completely express yourself, you destroy the delicate reality they've created by pretending to be someone they're not. It is not your aim to cause them discomfort, but your very presence does just that. What makes you so dangerous is that you do not ask permission. You do not bend to fit into places or shape yourself to fulfill expectations. This independence, the bravery to be yourself, is terrifying because most people lack it. They feel envious. They resent it. They are terrified at the same time. They cannot control you since you do not follow the rules. They've been trained that your rawness attracts some but repels others. Regardless, it's memorable. People don't know how to deal with someone who won't fake it, so they will either adore or avoid you. But their comments are irrelevant to you since you have realized something others haven't. The true power comes from living your truth. You do not have to prove yourself to anybody. Simply by being honestly you have already won. Number 5, you are a menace to mediocrity. You pose a danger to mediocrity because you refuse to accept anything less than brilliance. Others are settling for good enough. You're out there pursuing more, pushing higher, and smashing limits they had no idea existed. Your desire does not just push the boundaries of what is achievable. It reveals the complacency of others around you. For some, this is a tough thing to take. When people see you trying, growing, and succeeding, it serves as a continual reminder to them of what they've decided to overlook about themselves. It causes them to face the truth that they have given up trying. They've created excuses, telling themselves it's too difficult, hazardous, or just not worth it. But then you come in, proving them incorrect just by being you. and it stings. You are live evidence that their explanations are nothing more than fear disguised as reason. This is why mediocrity dislikes ambition. You question the current quo, and hence those who have made it their home. Your driving style is like a mirror. They cannot stop dwelling on their lack of effort, their unrealized goals, and the ambitions they gave up along the way. They don't detest you. They despise the version of themselves that they have chosen to bury. But here's the deal. You do not do it for them. You're not out here laboring to make others feel small. You're pursuing your own potential and refuse to let life pass you by without giving it your all. It is not your fault. They feel intimidated. The dread of failure is eating them alive. You are not simply ambitious. You are unstoppable. And for those who have settled, that type of intensity is scary. Sixth, you weaponize suffering. You weaponize suffering in a manner that stuns others. What might ruin someone else simply serves to refine you. Pain does not break you. It strengthens you. Every setback, treachery, and disappointment is another brick in the castle you're building. It's not like you're impervious to suffering. It's that you know how to utilize it. You've turned others' fears into your best ally. When life knocks you down, you don't just get back up. You become stronger, wiser, and hungry. You take the lessons learned throughout the fight and use them to rise even higher. People watch, expecting the agony to stop you, but it really spurs you onward. They watch you fall and assume you're done, only to discover later that you utilize the setback as fuel to start an even greater fire. They are terrified by your unwavering resilience. They don't understand how you keep going when others would give up long ago. Every time you refuse to give up, it reminds them of their own limits. They see in you what they lack: the capacity to endure, adapt, and prosper. This is what makes you so dangerous. They understand they can't break you, regardless of how much they try. Pain is not your adversary. It's your instructor. It sharpens your concentration, strengthens your will, and feeds your ambition, whilst others let it to immobilize them. You channel it into action, which is why you are unstoppable. The harsher life becomes, the more dangerous you become. Because for you, suffering is not the end. It's just the start of your next breakthrough. Number 7, you change the rules. You change the rules because you refuse to accept constraints that do not make sense to you, whilst others simply obey what they are taught. You doubt everything. Why? Because you see beyond the surface. You recognize that the rules were developed by individuals no wiser than you. And if they don't match your vision, you're willing to shatter them. Better yet, rewrite them completely. You're not going to rebel just for the sake of rebelling. This is not about defying or establishing a point. It's about making things better. You do not oppose the system because you are irresponsible. You do it because it is out of date, ineffectual, or just not designed. For someone who shares your goal, you perceive spaces where others see walls, and rather than accepting what is given to you, you design your own plan. This scares individuals because it upends their sense of order. Most individuals like obeying rules, even if they keep them trapped. But you're hazardous because you don't just follow the game. You alter it when the system does not meet your needs. You do not give up or settle. You find another route. In doing so, you demonstrate to others that the limitations they have accepted are really illusions. It's not about disregarding traditions. It is about evolution. You are not scared to question the status quo, since you understand that change is necessary for progress. And although some may see your approach as arrogant or even scary, they know you're correct. By refusing to accept the current quo, you are not just forging your own way. You are establishing a new standard for everyone else. That is not rebellion. That is leadership. Number 8, you are evidence that strength is quiet. You've mastered the art of presence, which demonstrates that strength is quiet. You do not need to say anything or make a huge entrance. When you enter a room, the energy alters. People notice you not because you are loud, but because your aura attracts attention without even trying. You exude a subtle intensity that makes everything around you seem more concentrated, purposeful, and alive. You do not want affirmation or recognition. You emanate it naturally. What makes this so effective is that you don't have to push your way into the discussion or demonstrate your control. You do not depend on loudness or dramatics. Your presence speaks for itself. It's the way others automatically shift when you're around, how the room seems to resonate with your energy, and how everyone naturally knows to respect your space. You've reached a stage when just being yourself is enough to convince people of your value. This type of power is terrifying since it is uncommon. Most individuals believe they must yell, compete, or prove themselves to be heard. You've discovered that actual strength does not need to be proclaimed. It just is. It's a subtle assurance that makes a lasting impression. Long after you've left the room, people are still seeking to be seen or heard. You have already made your mark. You've shown the world that true power does not need screaming. It whispers, and in its stillness, it demands respect like nothing else. Number 9. Your goal is unattainable. Your vision is unattainable because your goals are too lofty. They challenge the limits of what others feel is possible. Most people are locked in their comfort zones, dreaming little and settling for what's secure. But you're seeing beyond the horizon. Your ambitions aren't merely large. They're enormous, brazen, and untamed, which makes them dangerous to those who can't see beyond their own constraints. To them, your goals are like a faraway galaxy that they will never attain. They can't understand the size you're dealing with or the breadth of potential you're pursuing. You're not only looking to achieve in one area. You are out here transforming whole sectors, redefining success itself. You're creating legacies that will outlive you, imagining a world that doesn't exist yet. And since they can't see what you see, they can only stare at you in amazement and dread. Your aspirations are not relevant to individuals who are hesitant to take chances and go into the unknown. Your vision does not fit within their clean, comfy confines, which makes them uneasy. But to you, it is precisely the purpose. You don't yearn for acceptance or to fit in with others. You dream because your potential is unlimited. They can't even conceive these universes. This makes you a force they can't quite comprehend. The fact that your idea seems impossible to achieve simply drives your will to make it a reality. You're not worried since it seems impossible to others. You are motivated by the challenge, the excitement of knowing that your ambitions will always be too great for the world around you. And while others disbelieve you are already constructing the future. Number 10, you do not chase. You are attractive. You do not pursue. You are attractive. Opportunities don't simply come your way. They can't help but gravitate toward you, whether they're potential friends or adversaries. They are pulled to your vibe whether they want it or not. You've become a magnet for anything that is consistent with your goal and purpose, and that type of attraction is difficult to recreate. What makes this so strong is that you don't have to hustle or beg to get what you deserve. You realize that the greatest things don't come from pursuing them. They appear when you present as your most true, strong self. Your energy is so magnetic that it draws the appropriate people and events into your life without your conscious effort. People are attracted to you not because you want attention, but because your presence is obvious. And it's not simply the good aspects that draw you in. Even your adversaries can't resist falling into your orbit. It's not like you want them there. It's that your power, accomplishment, and confidence make them feel tiny, causing them to either confront you or flee in terror. But you don't pursue them either. They're attracted to you because you exemplify everything they can do. Your development, vision, and resilience. The beauty of this is that you know the secret. Your energy generates its own motion. You do not have to labor for what you deserve. Simply continue to evolve, shine, and attract all that is intended for you. The rest will follow. Those that are destined to be a part of your path will make their way in. They can't resist your attraction, and neither can you. Number 11. You hold up a mirror. You hold up a mirror whether you mean to or not. Your success causes individuals to confront the aspects of themselves that they would rather avoid. They're not furious with you. This is what you symbolize. Every step you take, every objective you achieve, and every barrier you break indicates the difference between where you are and where they are. Your presence emphasizes their own stagnation, which they can't bear. You don't want to expose somebody, yet you do so just by being yourself. The reality is unsettling for individuals who are too timid to pursue their own goals or push their own boundaries. Your accomplishments make their justifications seem hollow. They can't bear the mirror. You protect their life, showing them how much they've fallen short of their full potential. They don't despise your success. It serves as a reminder that they have settled for mediocrity. They react aggressively because they are afraid of addressing their own squandered chances and unmet potential. You've become the embodiment of everything they might be, but are unwilling to become. You are a live example of what is possible when you refuse to settle for complacency, which makes people uncomfortable. Your progress causes people to reassess their own decisions, anxieties, and lack of drive. They despise who you've become because it contradicts everything they've told themselves is sufficient. But the reality is, you are not accountable for their emotions. You did not ask to make them uncomfortable. You just decided to live your truth. Your success is not based on pushing others down. It's about raising oneself to a level they can't yet achieve. And as long as you keep developing, that mirror will continue to reflect the reality they would rather not face. Number 12, you are the antagonist in their tale and the protagonist in yours. You are the villain in their tale and the hero in your own. Those who do not understand you see you as dangerous, unpredictable, and a threat to all they have constructed. They cast you as the opponent in their world-building story. In their eyes, your achievement represents a threat to their own mediocrity. But you don't want to explain yourself, since you're not here to fit into someone else's tale. You're too busy creating your own legend, one that no one will forget. You've learned that pursuing brilliance does not guarantee universal understanding. In reality, most people will misunderstand your behavior, identify you as pushy or arrogant, or portray you as someone who gets in the way of their comfort zone. But the fact is that you aren't bothered about their misunderstandings. They can call you anything they want since you know they don't understand the broader picture. You aren't here to gratify them. You're here to create something permanent, something that will be remembered long after their views have faded. They may see you as a villain, but you see yourself as the hero of your own tale. You are the one who refuses to settle, the person who defies the odds, and the one who dares to dream large. Every hurdle you meet, every impediment in your way, simply adds to the legend you're building. You are not seeking approval from anybody. You are overly intent on developing something that will inspire future generations. So let them see you as the villain. You know the truth. You are the hero of a narrative that is barely starting. And one day they'll look back and realize they were just supporting roles in your climb. Number 13. Your quiet is louder than their screaming. Your quiet is louder than their screaming because you have perfected the art of allowing your deeds to speak for you while others yell, criticize, or attempt to bring you down. You remain silent not because you cannot reply, but because you do not have to. Your outcomes speak for themselves, and their influence is evident. Nothing silences noise like obvious success. And you've discovered that demonstrating yourself does not need words. Haters thrive on attention. They want you to respond. They shout their views, propagate their doubts, and try to lure you into their pandemonium. However, when you refuse to interact, their influence diminishes. Your silence irritates them because it denies them the pleasure of seeing you flinch. Instead, you focus your attention on advancement, growth, and attaining goals others can only dream about. It is not about ignoring them. It is about surpassing them. While they're talking about you, you're creating something they can't touch. And as the results begin to flow in, their comments lose all significance. That's when they realize your quiet was not a weakness, but rather a plan. You were too concentrated, thoughtful, and forward-thinking for the cacophony to matter. This type of calm confidence is unusual and terrifying. People are not used to someone who does not seek approval or feel compelled to debate. Your ability to remain calm while they unravel tells volumes about your strength. They may shout all they want, but in the end, it will be your success that resonates. And when the dust settles, they'll be left with just their own empty sounds. While you stand tall and triumphant in a world filled with noise, mediocrity, and dread, you are a testimony to what occurs when you refuse to settle. Refuse to comply and don't apologize for your presence. You do not need to pursue anything. Opportunities, respect, and validation come your way as a result of your enthusiasm, drive, and honesty. Your quiet is more strong than their shouts, and your resilience is so unwavering that it defies the very restrictions they've imposed on themselves. You've perfected the art of turning adversity into motivation, rewriting the rules, and leaving a legacy that frightens others who cannot keep up. The haters, they do not detest you. They despise the mirror. You hold them accountable for their own mediocrity. And as they frantically strive to bring you down, you're too busy constructing a narrative that will be passed down for years. You are the hero in your own story. And although they attempt to cast you as the villain in their story, your vision is so wide and strong that it cannot be contained by a single little intellect. You're the force they didn't expect. The one they can't put down since your power isn't loud or desperate. It's quiet, consistent, and inexorable. Know this as you ascend. They may not understand, but they will always remember. You've already won the game, and the world will have to watch while you rewrite the rules for everyone else. If this message spoke to you, if you felt a spark of recognition, a reminder of your own power, I encourage you to join this adventure. Hit the subscribe button and let us continue to climb together. Your support is more than simply a click. It is a common dedication to brilliance, rewriting the rules, and leaving an indelible legacy, such as commenting and sharing. If this spoke to you, it's because when we come together, we help each other develop. Let us show the world what we are capable of. You don't just belong here. You are intended to be here. Thank you for joining our movement. Stay blessed.